Do this shit until they murder me.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Been away for quite some time due to some personal stuff. It's been about 5 or 6 months, but we are back and ready to show you what's been going on with the car with the countable KSwap. The motor is all done. Let me first start with the intercooler stuff. So as you can see here, this is a pretty large core. I ran about the biggest one I could find, and it works perfectly. This stuff, this stays ice cold right now. Wow, this is really cold right now, as you can see. Look at that. I had to use couplers here, as you can see, instead of a straight, getting it welded. I don't have a welder, and all the welders here seem to be pretty occupied, so made do with what I got. So mounted a fire extinguisher back here because you can never be too safe. And as you can see, I got the downpipe all done up. It is mated to my Apexi N1 Evo exhaust, and I have this dump tube going straight up. I'm not even running a engine lid anymore since I don't daily the car. I only take it out to meets and have some fun. So rather than keep popping the engine lid, I just took it off. So I have it straight up for now. I have that wrapped around so that it doesn't vibrate against the chassis. But here you go. Here's a shot of the bay. Just recently adjusted the lifters. Super quiet now. There is the turbo elements manifold. I gotta redo that line. Get it a little further away. It looks like it's touching, but it's really not. It's just the angle. As you can see, here comes the line. The lines to the air to water system go underneath the car there. Everything else all done up. IAT, 3-bar map sensor, FPR. I had to kind of customize this stock throttle body a little bit so it didn't have all that weird stuff hanging out of it. Let's see what else. I am going to be switching out this turbo. This is a Borg Warner S300 SX3. It is a little too big for my goals right now. If I was going for maybe 700-800 horsepower, this would be the turbo to go with, but I'm going to be switching it out for an S200 SXE Supercore. It's going to be a smaller, it's going to be about 52 millimeters or 57 millimeters compressor wheel size. And the turbine is also going to be a twin scroll, but it's going to drop from a 91 to an 83. So I had to switch out my fuel pump. It died on me, and rather than drop this tank over and over again, because for some reason they just seem to die every 3 years, I went with an external clean injection pump. It is a 340 LPH, good for about 1,000, so they tell me. It is pretty loud. Not as loud as a buddy of mine's Magna Fuel, but it is. You can hear it in the cabin. You can feel it. I think I'm going to do something about that here soon. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, there's a Special K decal. So interior-wise, I went ahead and did sound deadening in the car because everything rattles. Semi-solid mounts seem to get everything rattling. This is an old car, but I went ahead and installed a double DIN dash here and a Toto Android unit. I got rid of the AC and climate controls there since I no longer run a heater or AC elements of that kind. Just put the gauges in there. I got a from right to left fuel gauge, boost gauge, and AFR. When it's something that I haven't really seen done on MR2s is I covered the gauge, or I covered the vents here. I don't know if you can get a good shot at, or you can see that there. Maybe I can get it from the inside. As you can see, I covered the vents since I don't use them anymore, and they work perfectly. Let me use a shot of the exhaust. Turn this puppy on in a minute, but that's the Apexi N1 Evo mated to the K24. Let me show you the front of the car quick. This is the icebox for the air to water system. This is a temporary measure until I put this in the rear next to the intercooler until I get a fuel cell. But for right now, this works. I have a Japsco cyclone low pressure, high volume pump, and I have my, see, I'll show you here, 12 volt switch source. These little out of fuse things, these things are really cool. Didn't know they existed until a couple months ago. Got that line coming up over here. This is my main 12-volt switched source. This is where I get all of my switch sources from. No more tapping into stuff behind the dash, the light, or the clock. It all comes from here. Let's see what else. The pump, actually, I don't know if I've shown this in previous videos, but this is where the air-to-water pump sits. And then there. And let me take you inside the cabin and show you what else I got. And here is the dash. So, got rid of the stock dash. It's still there. I just painted the clear cover black so that you will not see them. This is now what I'm running. This is an Android tablet, 8-inch Android tablet running the Real Dash application. It is by far the best thing I've used. I know the Hondata application is pretty good, but this lets you use a lot of customizable dash boards, as you can call it. So here, so let me switch it up. See premium. You can scroll through. No bullshit race dash. If you want to use something like this, this is what your dash will look like. It's pretty awesome. Everybody's been asking me about the latency and how quick it responds. It responds very quickly. This is very, very fast. Maybe it has to do with the fact that my ECU is directly behind the driver's seat. That's maybe 4 feet away, so that's why it's a little quicker. I have customized my own, made the gauges a little bigger to read, a little easier, got all the necessary gauges, my graphs if I want to do that, and I can data log, read error codes. It's got my trip, my odometer, time, date, all that. You can play music directly off this as well if you so choose. So let me start this puppy up. You'll be able to hear the fuel pump as well. See how loud this thing is. Hear that? This is the that is the LCD control box for the Davies Craig water pump. It shows me the voltage, if it's working, if the fans are working, if the pump's on, and the temperature. Let me turn this on. I have to adjust the idle as it's running a little on the low side, but everything's good. And I need to switch out my wideband gauge as it took a crap. As you can see here, it's not really running that rich. The gauge is reading fine. It's just that the sensor itself is bad and I need a replacement. Oh yeah, I'll show you. The Davies Craig unit here lets you set temperatures. So right now I have it to set on to full blast at once it reaches 195 degrees. You can set this anywhere from 35 degrees to 210 or 214 degrees. So you can customize the level of activity that your pump does if you're running the Davies Craig pump. Let me show you the motor. Here it is. K24A stock. The only modification to this is a Type S oil pump. Nothing else is done. Everything else is factory. This intake manifold over here is a Skunk 2 Pro copy. Picked up a cheap one off eBay. It's been doing a really great job. I really like it. Didn't have to modify it. Everything else running smooth. And like I said, it is running. It sounds a little crappy right now because I need to adjust the idle, but as you can see, it's not that loud. And yeah, it is cold in Vegas right now. It's about 50 degrees. That's why it's all that condensation. But there she is. Or there it is. And it's Lord. Let me see if I can get a picture of the. Actually, not a picture. Let me show you the how I have my fuel pump set up. This is a very temporary. That's coming straight off of the bottom of the tank. It's very temporary. It's not going to stay there. I know people don't like it, but I thought I was moving, and I was going to be moving about 65 miles away, so I did not want to tow the car that much. So instead, I thought I'd do that. But it's been working fine. This car running flawless. Show you the air-to-water ice box here. running a Jabsco Cyclone low pressure pump, as I said earlier. It flows big time. Throw some ice in there, make some jam. So the car itself makes, I had it tuned by Dennis at LDL Speedshop, and as you can see, it got tuned and made that much. I stopped there. I opted to stop there, even though Dennis said it could make more power, because I thought it would be a safe place to stop and keep it more reliable, and I don't have to mess with it anymore and be done with it. But since I'm going to be swapping to a smaller turbo, I'm going to have to get it retuned anyway. But yeah, everything's running as it should. Check that out. Turn this off. As you can see. Yep, gauges work perfectly. As you can see, oil pressure still hasn't been done. I am working on that pressure sensor right now, but everything else, perfect. Let me show you my other project now. So this one is done. It's going to be getting the, aside from the turbo and the fuel cell, this is done. Paint and body is going to be coming soon. And now on to the other project. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Let me show you something. Here we go. 91NA. Picked this up for cheap off of a local member. It's having some money issues. I know it's a little rough around the edges. It's got some body work that needs to be done. Threw these spare black FD wheels that I had on because the 91 wheels just were not cutting it. But it is a 91NA. It does need some loving. But this is also a future KSwap. A little rough around the edges. It's got some body work that needs to be done. Threw these spare black FD wheels that I had on because the 91 wheels just were not cutting it. But it is a 91NA. It does need some loving.